If you find you have a lot of tightness in the back of your pelvis, we can use our adductors to help open up our glutes. Now, a lot of time when people think about adductors, they think about adduction of bringing the leg in more towards the midline. Now, this is the femur moving on a fixed pelvis. Now, what happens if we think about reversing that, where we're going to keep the femur fixed and think about the pelvis moving? So if you think about our adductors, they connect from our ischiotuberosity here down into our femur, all along the inside of our leg. If we think about the pelvis being steady, yes, that femur is going to come in towards the midline with those 2 points coming closer together. Now, if we think about the femur staying steady, and we want those 2 points to come closer together, that is then going to widen our sit bones and pull the bottom of our pelvis towards our femur. If we flip the pelvis over to the back side, we can see how that would then help open this space up back here and help bring length to the backside of the pelvis. Now, intentions go a long way here. So let's go ahead and explore this idea as we do a split squat with this adduction kind of isometric move. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have something really heavy, or you can attach it into a door or another anchor point, but we want it to be about knee or thigh height. And you're going to step in with the band around your leg. Now, again, if this band is too light, we're going to then pull against the band and the knee is just going to collapse in. That's getting more of that femoral adduction rather than the sit bones widening with it. So make sure that band is heavy enough that when you hug in, that knee can't collapse in with it. So we're going to set up in our split squat here, and oftentimes having that band a little higher up in the thigh can help drive more of the movement proximally up here and in that pelvis versus down at the knee. So as I go to hug that knee in, I don't want that knee to come in, but instead think about that sit bone widening, okay? So I'm gonna feel my adductors working, but it's going to widen the sit bones with it. Then I'm gonna maintain that hug in as I go down and then back up. So sometimes giving that pelvis a little bit more support and those glutes a little bit more assistance with that opening can help make it easier to go down into that split squat or lengthen the backside of your pelvis compared to just doing it alone. Now, if I were to go to do it and I had the band lower, or again, that I just let that knee come in and I go to load down, now what's going to happen is I'm going to get some strain and pressure in my knee, maybe pinching in my hips, kind of rolling to the inside of my foot rather than staying centered over that pelvis and over that foot. So really watching what that knee is doing and making sure that it's pointing straight ahead. Now let me show you a backside view so you can kind of see that concept of the sit bone widening. So here I am. If I grab here, kind of the flesh of my bum at my sit bones, and then I'm going to think about hugging that knee in, but that it widens my sit bone. So you can kind of see how my bum gets a little bit bigger and kind of blossoms out in a sense to the side while that knee stays pointed straight ahead. And then I'm sitting down, still thinking about that butt getting bigger as I come down, hips staying nice and level, and feeling that sit bone widen as we get down to the bottom there with it. So as I mentioned, in the end, you're going to feel some adductors working, but it's going to help with opening up the back of the hips. Now, if you find that you have pain in your knee here, or adductors that feel tight, it could be one, that like I mentioned, that we need to find more of that movement up at the pelvis to help us get up and over that pelvis versus being off to the side here and loading through the inside of that knee with it. The other thing is that maybe you need to explore looking at the balance between your adductors and your glute med on that leg. We have some other videos on our channel that help take you through that a little bit more, but go ahead and give that a shot and see how that slight change of intention helps out what you're feeling in your hips and pelvis.